Poor Rick. He's like Shannon Smith. Anytime there's food involved, it's just like, you know, tearing you away. All right. Well, we are honored, of course, to have Muriel Andrew Lessman, our man and our star of the day, and highlighted by something that you and I wait for. This is something he does once a year and once a year only. When Andrew first started talking about this on the air here at HSN, we spoke primarily and almost exclusively about cardiovascular benefits. And maybe that's why your physician or doctor or someone has told you should be taking omega-3s. First and foremost, this is not like any omega-3 product you've seen anywhere else in the world. But what's really fun for us now is my doctor told me specifically, I take this twice a day, that I should be doing this for my mood, for my brain, in addition to the fact that I feel like it makes me look good, in addition to making me feel good. And then we talk about brain health and eye health. And of course, Andrew's gonna get into all the key differentials and how it's so markedly different from anything else in anywhere else in the world at any price. But speaking of that, since there's only one more show to grab this, let me just take you on a tour of your sizes. And most of you, as you probably already suspect, are doing the 750 count size. Now remember, my mouth is still watering from that peanut sauce, by the way. It was a little hard to talk, right? No. So it really is, I'm not kidding. The 750 count is something that Andrew is doing for today and today only. That's what most of us are doing. I guess it was 3 to 1 that people are getting the 750 count size.
Yes.
So certainly you're welcome, 30, 90, 180, 360, or 750. But part of the reason that we're all doing the 750 is whether you're sharing it with a spouse, sharing it with a friend, or I take it twice a day, as my doctor indicated I should. Here's where our pricing is going to go, and here's what's interesting. After the stroke of midnight, for less than half the number of capsules, it's $20 more than you'll spend for the 750 today. No. That's a really unbelievable buy, Andrew.
But that's the goal with our Today Specials. We do them once a year, and we schedule them. I think we've done omega-3 as a Today Special every April. Yes. For every bit of 20 years.
Yep.
So we tend to do omega-3s, and then next weekend we're just here again for 6 hours, and we'll be doing the Ultimate Eye. So we tend to do it on a regular basis, Choco Nuvo the last couple of years, this time of year before we leave for summer. And it's a monthly special. So we try to schedule things. And for those of you taking 2 capsules a day, perfect timing, those 750 last 375 days, it takes you well into next year. For those of you taking 1 capsule a day, it lasts you 2 years. Or if you're sharing it, each person taking 1 capsule, it lasts for a year. So we really try to have it make sense. You could get the smaller size, not as much savings. And by the way, no problem at all having this product stick around for a couple of years. Just store it in a cabinet, don't expose it to extreme heat, and the product's going to be fine. You do not need to refrigerate it. Those soft gel capsules, the fatty acids they contain are stable. So what I was going to do is read, we've gone through some charts talking about, there were charts I was reading about sort of how our brain functions, memory, concentration, emotional balance, talking about dry eyes and things like that, talking about cardiovascular benefits and cardiovascular health. This talks about just eye health, because as much as I was saying before, that it really goes without saying that omega-3s are really kind of definitive, defining of our brain, because they represent over 2/3 of the structure of our brain. The last thing we want is our body struggling to get the omega-3s it needs when we know that our brain is 2/3 omega-3s, 2/3 DHA. But that is the exact American diet, that we just don't get the omega-3s that we require, unfortunately. But now we go to our eyes, which is highly concentrated as our omega-3s are in our brain. It's even higher in our eyes. Huh. And it's DHA. It's all DHA. So this is progress in retinal and eye research. Highest body concentrations of DHA per unit weight are found in phospholipids of retinal photoreceptors. So again, remembering the brain is about 2/3 DHA, and the eye has even higher levels of DHA than the brain. DHA is the major fatty acid in structural lipids of retinal photoreceptors. That is how we create visual images in our eyes. DHA is efficiently incorporated and selectively retained, and not just selectively retained, but selectively concentrated in the photoreceptors of our eyes. current opinion in ophthalmology. And I try to select all sorts of journals, like from all over the place, so you get a sense of just how consistent and reliable these statements are. Deficiencies of DHA have been implicated in age-related changes in the eye, and long-chain omega-3 fatty acids may also help to protect against oxidative and age-related changes in the retina. A deficiency of DHA might therefore impair retinal function. You know, we're constantly battling against age-related changes in our body, whether it's in our brain, in our eyes, and omega-3 fatty acids are critical structural components in our eyes and our brain. So it's no wonder that they're not just implicated in, that they're central to changes that come with age. Several epidemiologic studies, that means large population studies looking at behaviors and what we do, have suggested an inverse relationship between dietary omega-3 long-chain polyunsaturated fatty acid or fish intake and age-related eye health. What people often ask me, what does inverse relationship mean? What does direct relationship mean? And what an inverse relationship is? An inverse relationship, simply stated, is, here's a simple one. An inverse relationship would be body weight to longevity. So as our body weight goes up, unfortunately, our longevity goes down. And what would a direct relationship be? As our body weight goes up, our blood pressure goes up or our blood sugar level goes up. So that's a direct relationship. Where two things go up at the same time or go down at the same time, that's a direct relationship. When two things go in opposite directions, that's an inverse relationship. So in other words, what they're saying here is as omega-3 levels go up, eye health goes up. But what they're saying is omega-3 levels go down. It's an inverse relationship, fish intake and the observance of eye health problems. Several epidemiological studies have suggested an inverse relationship between dietary omega-3 long-chain polyunsaturated fatty acid or fish intake and age-related eye health.
So Bugs Bunny was wrong.
Well,
don't eat the carrots.
So the funny thing is about carrots, that's actually a really good point to raise. Carrots are rich in beta-carotene. Beta-carotene is a precursor to vitamin A.
Right.
And it's sort of like old science. When we're building eye tissue, developing eye tissue, vitamin A is very relevant in the context of our developing eyes. But in terms of the aging eye, beta-carotene, carotenoids like that are not critical. The guy who really had the healthy eyes, not Bugs Bunny. You know who had the healthy eyes?
No. Elma?
No.
Oh.
As we're talking about, and frankly, I always thought he was an exceptional actor. Okay. Popeye.
Yes.
And why does Popeye have exceptionally healthy eyes?
The spinach?
Exactly. Oh. What is spinach rich in? Lutein and zeaxanthin. So we now know the protective carotenoids lutein and zeaxanthin are critical to the macular region. How are you looking at me like that?
Okay, you know, I derailed the train. I freely admit it. I took the train right off the rails. No, I apologize.
But we're talking about Bugs Bunny and Popeye exactly like they're real people.
Right. So,
next thing we'll invite
very
Fred
quiet.
Fred Flintstone, but that was very good.
Exactly, thank you.
I am what I am.
I am what I am.
So, but we'll continue with these scientific charts so we don't deteriorate any further here. So, but again, as we were saying there, when it comes to eye health, there's a direct relationship between omega-3 fatty acid intake and eye health. There's an inverse relationship between omega-3 intake and eye problems. Well, that's what they've observed in population studies.
To see, have they mentioned the dry eye thing too?
That was the other charts I read last night. But that talked about a number of studies and meta-analyses, large views of several studies, that a reduction in dry eye among people who get adequate levels of omega-3 fatty acids from their diet or from supplementation.
Nice.
Yeah. So,
I mean, it's really exciting. And we digress. I mean, part of it is, obviously, you can tell, we all love Andrew. We've all been friends for over 20 years. But I think the big thing for me is he brings that science to life. And he walks the walk. talk. He talks the talk. He's an American success story. There's so many things to feel good about this for, but when we first started talking about omegas, we were talking about heart health. And isn't it nice that we're talking about brain benefits and benefits to your eyes and benefits to your skin and to your nails and to your mood? And one of the points that I was quizzing Andrew about last hour was these are essential. These are essential to living a good life and good health.
To think that your brain being 60, 65% DHA, the omega-3 we focus on, the omega-3 that other omega-3 products do not focus on, they focus on EPA. DHA in your body can be used to make EPA. EPA is not well utilized to make DHA. DHA really needs to be the principal ingredient in a supplement. But when you think about the fact that, and I have charts here, I read some of them earlier, that depending on whoever's doing the analysis of our diet, the way we eat, that 80, 90, 95% of us aren't getting adequate amounts of omega-3 fats. So if you look at that as a basic statement about the deficiency, the absolute deficiency of omega-3s in our diet, but you also consider that about 2/3 of the dry weight of our brain is DHA, and that should be alarming. And when you think about that, as concentrated as it is in our brain, it's even more concentrated in the photoreceptors, in the working components of our eyes. And so when you think about that, to me, it's sort of no wonder that as we get older, we struggle in these areas. And again, I have charts that talks about the neurological changes that we define as normal in the aging brain, in our aging population. Maybe they're normal simply for a population that doesn't get the levels of omega-3 that we used to always get before. This is a relatively recent phenomenon from our industrialized diet. If you go to Japan, if you go to the Mediterranean region, not surprisingly, if you look at large population studies, you see healthier brains, healthier eyes. And I attribute it to things that they do differently in terms of what I get just talking about with Muriel's books, diet.
True.
You go to those regions and fish is more of a staple of their diets. You go to those regions, green leafy vegetables, more of a staple of their diets. So to the extent we could change our diet, I've always said that if we could eat perfectly, gosh, you don't need dietary supplements. Because what is a dietary supplement? It's something that supplements our diet. If I was standing on TV in Japan doing this, well, no one would understand me speaking English, but they wouldn't need to hear me talk about fish oil. Because if you look at the average Japanese diet, they're more diligent about consuming fish than we are diligent about consuming beef and chicken. And they get the benefits of that traditional diet. It's not like 200 or 300 years ago or thousands of years ago when we developed our traditions that they knew the benefits. It just is the traditional diet. When we all grew up eating what we eat here in America, our parents didn't think they were doing anything adverse to us. We just didn't know what we know now. So now that hopefully informs the decisions we make. So we either modify our diets a bit to incorporate more fish and a little bit less beef and chicken, or we simply intelligently supplement. And there's no more intelligent and better made supplement than the one I'm talking about today. But even if you don't want to try mine, you could find something at a store, and even as deficient as they might be in how they went about making that product, it will be better than nothing, because we're not getting the omega-3s. So that's the nothing. So even a poorly made supplement will be better than nothing.
Yeah, but they aren't going to tell you, oh, by the way, it's going to make your stomach hurt. I mean,
or have a fishy aftertaste, or
aftertaste. Andrew's product even looks different. I mean, obviously, it's made much differently. No contaminants. You don't have to worry about mercury. It even physically looks different than the other omega-3s you've probably taken or seen in stores before.
Yeah, I mean, if you just look at the capsule here versus the others, those other capsules contain less omega-3s. They contain a lot more fish oil,
right,
but it's not as concentrated as ours, not as mild as ours, but our capsule is just a little over half their size.
Right.
So ours is not a little bit smaller, it's a lot smaller.
And
as Shannon was mentioning, as I reach here.
I know, look at how pretty they are. Andrew, you were telling me too that the essential is actually, the maximum is actually even a little bit smaller than your original size?
When we did our original omega-3 capsule, it was called Essential Omega-3.
Right.
It contained 250 milligrams, half the potency of today's products. Today, the maximum Essential Omega-3 is more than double the potency.
Wow.
And it's about 60% the size.
That is incredible. I don't know how you did it.
But that's 30 years of committed work.
True.
So we have continued to improve the quality of the product, improve its potency, make it not more mild, make it absolutely, completely, and totally mild, so it will cause no problems to anyone. And it's a better quality source of omega-3s than ever before. Now, our omega-3s are environmentally harvested, so they're certified independently as being environmentally harvested, because think about all the billions of omega-3 capsules, or tens of billions, that are consumed worldwide. That's a lot of fish oil. You want to be sure that those fish oil capsules are coming from a responsible source and not damaging the fisheries out in the world that we rely on, and that our planet relies on.
Absolutely. And this might be a poor analogy, but it's all I've got at this moment. I actually will have more repeating and stomach upset from eating salmon, from eating, again, a natural dietary product, than I will taking Andrew's Omega product. When now again, that's my individual result, but I use that analogy because if I'm eating salmon, that's an ice cream night, because I know I'll be tasting the salmon all night. Right. At least I use that as my guide. But there's absolutely zero after, there's nothing with this.
This is problem-free, trouble-free. We talked about fish before. Fish is one of those things, I often say that about berries at the house.
Yeah.
You get it to your house, and if you don't eat it quick enough, it's gonna go bad. And sometimes you have a piece of fish, and it's the most perfect piece of salmon or tuna or halibut or sea bass, whatever it might be that you've ever had. And then you get it at the same store, and the next time you get it, it's just as expensive, but it just doesn't taste the same or taste right. So fish can be a little unreliable, and as much as we'd like to know where everything comes from, I'm not sure if when it says it's wild, it always is wild. So there's a lot of questions with fish in terms of purity, in terms of farm raised, so there's lots of challenges associated with being an informed consumer when it comes to eating fish. What I always say is, even with all those questions in mind, eating fish is still a better decision than the other sources of animal protein in terms of our omega-3 intake, because those other sources of animal protein are not going to contain these vital omega-3s. So we still want to try to do those exchanges and those substitutions. We still want to be informed about the issues that pertain to the fish we consume. So it's not something we should blindly go forward and just eat fish with abandon, but frankly, the benefits of adding fish to our diet are so significant that we can be a little bit more comfortable than we might be with chicken or red meat. So, but again, in terms of being sure we get our omega-3s, this simple capsule comes with no risk. I was the guy who for 30 years has been talking about omega-3 fish oils need to be carefully monitored for contaminants, for heavy metals and other contaminants. We've done that since day one. We always do that. I got flack for talking about that, but it was validated in the literature. So we have always made sure that when you get our fish oils, you get the most unique natural triglyceride product that's not giving you ethyl esters, that's not giving you other contaminants, that's not giving you a stomach upset, a huge capsule that's impossible to swallow. So you're getting a product that's all about benefit. That's the only reason to take this, is the benefits you receive, and no problems whatsoever. We succeeded in a product that is, the reviews only get better over the years. It's a product with not 21 reviews, but 2,100 five-star reviews that represent, I think the 5- and 4-star reviews represent almost 90% of the reviews, or over 90% of the reviews.
They do. And actually, one of the things that Andrew just keyed into that I don't think we'll have time to delve in too much, because this is an abbreviated area, and Andrew has only one more show coming up tonight, was you get the benefits, you get the bang for your buck. Now, certainly you might go to your health food store armed with the same kind of information that Andrew is providing, but there's absolutely no guarantee that that other purveyor is following God's blueprint. And I'll leave it at that, because I think there are a lot of us out there who have spent our money elsewhere, sometimes we're penny wise and pound foolish. I'll just put it to you that way. And then you say, oh, I tried omega-3s. They just didn't do anything for me. You were taking the wrong omega-3s. I'll just tell you that right now. Because Andrew could stand for hours on end either reading just the reviews or from scientific journals. You have to be taking the right one to get the benefits that we seek. And boy, oh boy, if there was ever a day or a time to do that, of course, there's only one more show to grab it. Most of us are doing that 750 cap size, which my producer Rick just said too, overwhelmingly 3-to-1 people are selecting that 750 count size. And remember, in addition to the pricing going away, after the stroke of midnight, you will be spending almost $200 more for the 750 count. But remember, the 750 is only when it's here as a today's special, once a year. Now for me, that's probably, you said a 2 years supply?
Yeah, and at one capsule a day. At
one capsule a day?
It's a 2 year supply.
Yeah.
At 2 capsules a day, it's a 1 year supply, and we're able to do it incredibly affordably. That's a monster size number of capsules, 750.
That is.
When you look at the typical potency of an over-the-counter product, that's like getting more like 11 or 1,200 capsules of their product.
Right.
So it's really about a dime a capsule for a product that bears no relationship to what theirs. Theirs are typically ethyl esters, not the natural form, not as bioavailable, not as bioactive. There's also, when you use an ethyl ester, it liberates trace amounts of alcohol in your body. Ours is the natural triglyceride form. Also, our balance favors the most important. Your body concentrates DHA above all in your brain, above all in your heart, above all in your eyes. We focus on DHA in our product. 99% of the products in the market focus on EPA. That's the standard. Unfortunately, they don't even follow Mother Nature's blueprint, which you were just talking about before. That God-given blueprint is what we all try to follow in terms of our supplements. But I had some reviews here I just wanted to read. We didn't read any reviews here, just a few. And these, they're sort of random. I just grabbed them from a stack of about 1,000 we have here. It says, good. I do like this product. My eye doctor told me to start using these. I had my blood tested and my lipids had improved. I will continue taking them. Omega-3, the capsules are the right size for swallowing. The over-the-counter ones are way too big for me, and ours contain more omega-3s than the big ones. I've been using this product for several years, and I'm quite pleased with it, from Cleo in Arizona. Daily must. My doctor told me to keep taking these. He said they were really helping me and that my blood is doing much better since I began taking them. Keep up the good work, Andrew, from an avid fan of your products. Thank you, Garnet in Colorado. Omega-3, in my last lab report findings, my doctor said to be sure to keep up with the omega-3. My lab work had improved. I will stay on with this one. And you'll see hundreds, if not thousands, of reviews that talk about that.
For sure. Amazingly positive results. This was my second order. I ran out once, and I will never let it happen again. I benefit in several ways from these. My skin is dry, especially in the winter months, but as long as I take my essential omega-3s, you'd never know. Without it, my skin feels dry and irritated, and when I take it, my skin not only feels so much better, but it also looks so much more luminous. The other huge benefit is I no longer have dry eyes, which we read some of the research about that earlier. Wow, what a huge difference there. What a huge difference there. There are other benefits, but I'm out of space. That's cute. Clear head. Maybe it is my imagination, but my brain seems to be a little clearer, and I seem to be able to remember a lot more. I can get them for less elsewhere, but I didn't feel as good with my old ones as I do with these. So thanks, Andrew. Also, love the free shipping and handling. Excellent. I love this product. All 3 of my family members take this. Our doctor told us to take an omega-3 with higher DHA, which is what we do. Yep. And this one has it. Plus, there is no burping up, and it's easy to take smooth capsules. Maximum Essential Omega-3 Orange, I really believe these omega-3 capsules are the best out there. I think they are high quality, and there really is no fishy aftertaste or burps. I take them because my eye doctor recommended omega-3 for eye health. Interesting. Never a fishy taste, even after getting sick. I've been taking 2 of your essential omega-3 gel capsules at bedtime for about 1 year now. My doctor is thrilled with all of my lipid levels. There is no fishy taste, even when I came down with the flu during the night and vomited. Ooh. No fishy taste at
all. Sort of an interesting testimonial, but good validation
Well,
from
hey,
Chris.
if you've got an upset tummy and that's not augmenting it, you know.
But, or basically, I think what they were saying is when their food left them because they had the flu.
Oh, that's true. Oh, you're right.
There was absolutely no fishy aftertaste.
Yeah.
But that's the secret to this product, that
yes.
it literally neutralizes the fishy aftertaste.
It's true.
So, terrific product. I've been purchasing this product for some time now and won't be without it. My doctor is so amazed about the benefits from this product. It has helped my joints also. I've started my daughter in Minnesota on this too. Thanks for one terrific product from Fran in Nevada. And just in those 6 or 7 charts, we talked about, I guess, the skin, the eyes, sort of blood lipid levels, all the different ranging benefits, the brain that omega-3s can provide, and all the different structures of our body, that they're just an incredibly central component. Our brain, again, is about 2/3 DHA. DHA is the omega-3 that we uniquely focus on.
So I know we want to get to our other today's special. Remember, Andrew has only one more show coming up tonight. Remember, all you do, because it's a one-shot deal, and there's only one more chance to grab it tonight, you choose your size of choice, and I would do it pronto. I mean, I really would, because on that 750 count size, more than 3 to 1, that's the one I'm getting, because I take it twice a day. That's what my doctor recommended I do. And I'm saving myself $200. I just am. So after today, remember, you'll spend less money. You'll spend more money to buy the 360 count. It's $20 more to buy the 360 count after today than it is to more than double your capsule size. All right, we've got time, and I apologize. I know